Friends, welcome back to the Marketing Nomad YouTube channel. Today we're doing a tarot deck review, and the deck that I have for you is the Liberation Tarot by Elicia Epstein. Now this deck was kindly gifted to me by PM Press, and I just wanted to say a very big thank you to them for sending this deck over for me to review. Now what you can expect in today's tarot deck review is I'm going to be sharing my thoughts about this deck. I'm going to be also sharing my experience connecting with the energy of this particular deck, as well as some tips and tricks that have worked for me as I was using this particular deck, all right? Now, usually I read what's at the back, but there's nothing written at the back, except that this is published by PM Press, all right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the camera angle so that I can show you the cards as well as share my thoughts about this deck. So just give me a second, I'll change the camera angle. So the Liberation Tarot is a 79 tarot deck, and it is curated by Elicia Epstein. And the part that I found really amazing about this deck is that it is a collaborative effort of over 30 artists and writers from diverse backgrounds. Using this deck felt like I was opening a sacred living archive, a deck that not only speaks the truth, but literally breathes it. It is a very, and I'm gonna add one more, very fierce deck, and it is meant to hold complexity with care. Just as the name suggests, it refuses to flatten the mess, the pain, and this deck believes that it is through healing that we will all be liberated. Each card has a very unique artistic voice, and it contains years of lived experience, and that energy is very powerful to tap into. Frankly, it was very humbling for me to understand each artist's perspective of that particular card. Now, for me, when I was kind of tapping into the energy of this deck, it felt like I was fiercely held by a community of creators. Each card was a window into a different way of seeing, feeling, sensing, thinking, and even knowing as well. The artwork on this deck is visually compelling, and of course that adds to the immense energy of this particular deck. Now, the deck, of course, intentionally embraces diversity. The readings are honest, sometimes brutally honest, but that is what makes it so liberating, you know? The deck honors resistance, healing, grief, and joy equally. And one of the things that I found to be very powerful about this deck is that it acknowledges trauma is systemic and not individual. It makes healing part of the liberation movement and not separate from it. For me, when I was going through this deck, tapping into its energy, I felt like it was telling me healing is a necessity for social transformation. So if you're looking for a deck that is courageous, that's inclusive, that's grounded in justice work, I would highly recommend this deck. It is incredibly aligned for people who work in activist spaces, healing justice, if you're doing some ancestral work, or even doing some decolonial spiritual practices as well. Would highly recommend this particular deck. Now about the guidebook is accessible, filled with critical reflection. The part that I really liked about it is that it doesn't tell you what to think. You know, it gives you context and it questions you. This allows every single person who is reading the guidebook the space to think for themselves rather than just following what is. And I feel that that by itself is the creator's way of telling you that you thinking for yourself, you know, is the stepping stone for liberation. And it's okay for you to think something that is different from what has been going on or what is defined as normal by the people around you. So that by itself, very liberating as you step into that space. This deck also makes space for all bodies, you know, identities, histories, and also, of course, futures. Now, one thing that I have realized with this particular deck is that tarot can actually be a tool of resistance, of care, of accountability, and radical love as well. This is a great deck for people who are looking to reconnect with their own truth, with their ancestors perhaps, and even if you are looking to reconnect with communities in ways that are ethical, in ways that are rooted and liberatory, again, would highly recommend this deck. It is an incredibly empowering deck, and you can definitely tap into every single energy of the creators who have created this deck, and I highly recommend it. this is where I will leave you for today. I really hope that this review provided a good starting point for you to see if this deck aligns with your needs at this moment. I'll catch you in my next one. Bye-bye.